Hey guys, welcome back to Witness Breaks. This video is all about the Indian economy. You need to know about this Indian economy terms because we need to understand what is developed country and what is developing country. Only by knowing certain factors you would be understanding it. Other people, like normal people, won't be understanding all these concepts because we won't be learning in school. Because only commerce people would be knowing about all these concepts, but we won't concentrate during those time because it would be a board subject. But right now it is a serious subject because in order to withstand this country, you need to know about economic terms. That's what I just thought to tap it out. So first, Indian economy is a vast and complex with several key economic. First comes gross domestic product, that is GDP, the total value of goods and services produced within India in a given period. Example, Indian GDP was 296.6 lakh crore, that is $3.7 trillion in 2023 and 24. And next, it's all about gross value added, that is measures the contribution of different sectors such as agriculture, industry, service to GDP. That is formula is equal to GDP plus subsidy minus taxes. And same way, next it's all about inflation, that is CPI and WPI, that is consumer price index measures retail inflation based on price change in essential goods, and wholesale price index tracks inflation at the wholesale level. Example, India CPI inflation was 5.1% in January 2024. And same way, what is fiscal deficit? The gap between the government's total expenditure and total revenue. A high fiscal deficit means the government is borrowing more. Example, India's fiscal deficit target for 2023 and 24 was 5.9% of GDP. That is the difference between a country's total exports and imports, including trade, services, and remittance. Example, India's SCAD was 1.2% of GDP in 2023 and 24. And next, it's all about foreign exchange risk. India's total reserve of foreign currency, gold, and special drawing rights, that is SDRs. Example, India's forex reserve were around $640 billion in 2024. And next, it's all about repo rate and reverse repo rate. That is repo rate, interest rate at which the RBI lends to bank, affects loan interest rates. And same way, reverse repo rate at which bank park surplus funds with RBI. Example, RBI repo rate is 6.5% as of 2024. And next, it's all about goods and service tax, that is GST, a single indirect tax on goods and service, replacing multiple state and central taxes. GST slabs in India are 5%, 12%, 18%, 28%, and in future you might get any other percentage too. And next, it's all about disinvestment and privatization. Government selling its stake in public sector enterprises, and same way privatization, transferring ownership of government companies to the private sector. Example, LIC IPO 2022 was India's largest disinvestment. It's all about FDI and FPI, that is foreign direct investment in business, factories, and startups. And same way, foreign portfolio investment, it's all about investment in Indian stock, bonds, and financial asset. Example, India attracted $71 billion FDI in 2023 and 24. Next, it's all about Make in India and Atmanirbhar Bharat, that is Make in India initiative to boost manufacturing, and Atmanirbhar Bharat focus on self-reliance in key sectors like defense, agriculture, and technology. Next, it's all about Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Act, provides 100 days of guarantee wage employment to rural workers. And next, it's all about financial inclusion, that is Jan Dhan Yojana, that is UPI, expanding banking service to the unbanked population. Example, UPI transaction crossed 18 lakh crore in January 2024. And next, it's all about demographic dividend, the economic advantage of a young and growing workforce in India. And same way, sustainable development and green economy, India's push towards renewable energy, green hydrogen, and electrical mobility. Example, India aims to achieve net zero carbon emission by 2007. Now let's see what are the important factors for the country's development. Especially for developed country, a country development depends on multiple economic, social, and political factors that contribute to sustainable growth and better quality of life for its citizens. So first comes economic growth and stability, GDP growth rate, industrial and agricultural growth, inflation control, trade and investment. About infrastructure development, that is transportation, power and energy, digital infrastructure, all these things. And next, it's all about education and skill development, that is quality education, skill development, and higher education and research. And next, it's all about healthcare and public welfare, that is universal healthcare, nutrition and sanitarian, health infrastructure. And next, it's all about political stability, that is strong institution, transparent government. Next, it's all about employment and income equality, that is job creation, reducing income inequality. And next it's all about sustainable development and environmental protection, that is climate change adaptation, renewable energy, waste management and pollution control. Next it's all about technology and industrial advancement, that is innovation and startups, automation and AI, space and defense research. And next it's all about social and gender equality, employment, and that is women empowerment, caste religious harmony, education. For last comes global relations and trade policy, foreign trade agreements, diplomatic stability. These factors makes any country develop. A developed country is one that balances economic growth, social welfare, environmental sustainability, and strong governance. Countries like India, China, US, European nations focus on multiple factors to achieve long-term development. So what is the present condition of India? India is still considered a developing country despite significant economic progress because it faces several structural and social economic challenges. While India has achieved rapid GDP growth, technological advancement, and global influence, first comes high poverty and income inequality. Over 10% of the population still lives in extreme 2.15 per day dollar. And wealth is concentrated among the rich, with top 1% controlling nearly 40% of India's wealth. And next, it's all about unemployment and informal sector. A large portion of India's workforce is employed in the informal sector without job security. Unemployment remains high despite economic growth. And next, it's all about low per capita income. India's per capita GDP is around $2,500, which is lower than developed countries like US $80,000 and China $12,500. And next, it's all about the agricultural. Nearly 45% of India depend on agriculture, but the sector contributes only 15% to GDP. Low productivity and frequent climate shocks impact rural livelihoods. Next, it's all about infrastructure and urban challenges. So first comes inadequate infrastructure. India still lack efficient transportation, electricity, and internet access in many rural areas. Traffic congestion, power shortage, and lack of clean water affects urban and rural population. And same way, poor public healthcare system. Common healthcare spending is only 2.1% of GDP, leading to overcrowded hospital and poor medical service. And same way, rural area faces a severe shortage of doctor, hospital, and medical equipment. Even though doctors are there in our country, there is no proper good doctors. That's the condition of our country. Next, it's all about housing and slums. Millions still lives in slum with poor sanitation and lack of basic facility, and affording house remains a challenge for the lower and middle class. And same way, social challenges, education and skill gap. India has made progress in literacy, that is 75% as of 2023, but quality education remain an issue. Many graduates lack practical skill, affecting employability. The reason is that Indian education system is a failure, total failure. There is no hope for the future generation unless until you have the extra money for you. Family need to have a backup in order to make your mindset ready with all the skill, or else you would be struggling for sure. So next, it's all about general inequality and social issue. Women's participation in the workforce is still below 30%. Caste and religious tension sometimes hinder social progress. Malnutrition and hunger. India ranks low in global hunger index, that is 111 out of 125 countries in 2023. Child malnutrition and anemia among women remain serious issue. And next, it's all about governance and policy issue, that is corruption. Corruption in government service delays projects and discourage investment. Bureaucratic inefficiencies slow down infrastructure and industrial development. And same way, political instability and policy implementation. Renewable energy growth is happening, but at slow pace. So why India is still developing? India has made huge progress in technology, economic growth, global influence, but poverty, unemployment, infrastructure gaps, corruption, and environmental issue hold it back. So can India become a developed country? Yes, but it requires time, stronger industrial growth and job creation, better education and skill development, healthcare and social security expansion, faster infrastructure development, efficient governance and policy reform, sustainable environment policy. All these things must be followed. Only then you can see the development. The target year for development, India aims to become a developed nation by 2047, 100 years of independence, as per Prime Minister Modi. Viksit Bharat vision. Industrialization, digital economic growth, and strategic policy reforms will be the key. But all this is a question mark, because if you don't change the system of our country, no developing thing would be happening in our country for sure. Even though the country would be keeping on developing, never India would be developed. So this is all about the economic terms. So I hope now you would be understanding the concept. So with that thought on this video, take